in the distance, see a vision of a cross. I feel the pain that was given on that sad day of loss. A lion roars in the darkness, only he holds the key. A light to free me from my burden and grant me life eternally. Should have been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head. No time for mourning, ain't got no time. Should have been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head. No time for mourning, ain't got no time. So I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns inside, only fuels their selfish pride. All held captive out from the sun, sun that shines on only some. We the meek are all in one. I cry out to God, seeking only His decision. Gabriel stands, confirms I've created my own prison. I cry out to God, seeking only His decision. Gabriel stands, confirms I've created my own prison. So I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns inside, only fuels our selfish pride. All held captive out from the sun, sun that shines on only some. We the meek are all in one. So I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns inside, only fuels their selfish pride. All held captive out from the sun, sun that shines on only some. I didn't know he said I created my own prison right there. That caught me off guard. We the meek are all in one. Should have been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head. No time for mourning, ain't got no time. Welcome to another bloody, horrible, suicide-inducing episode of the Apocalypse. An unwise choice, choosing the apocalypse, but a choice nonetheless. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. It appears Donny Shitbags is tired of all the Epstein talk. So I suggest we keep talking about it. Anyway, let's begin because I'm tired as fuck. Arizona resident dies from the plague less than 24 hours after showing symptoms. The Independent. Now, just because I'm a guy that's yelling about the apocalypse and Satan and all that bullshit and the end of the world and the end of your country, which it all is, that doesn't mean I'm trying to start panic with this and I'm saying this is gonna be a thing. All I know is, I talked about it yesterday briefly, all I know is a motherfucker died from pneumonic plague, which comes from bubonic, or was it septicemic plague? And that pneumonic plague can be coughed and breathed all over all of us. And then you can catch it. The plague, son, I'm talking about. Not a cold, not COVID, the plague. The plagua. One person has died very quickly after showing symptoms. Hopefully, they're the last person that dies of it. But again, like I said yesterday, wouldn't it be appropriate if this became a thing during the Antichrist reign, during the apocalypse? I'm not saying it's a thing. I'm saying one guy died. I hope no more die from this. I hope it doesn't become a thing, cause this is the stuff of nightmares and apocalypses and all that shit. The fucking plague. You don't want to get that. It appears Mr. Hegseth used Metallica music during one of his events or commercials or something. And they filed a complaint. Let's read it. It sounds like a right-wing hack is like upset about this, so maybe that's what's going on here. Breaking. They're named Graham Allen. That sounds familiar. Is that a known right-wing hack? There's so many and they're so forgettable. None of them have a ounce of soul, creativity, nothing. Either Metallica or their label filed a DMCA against Pete Hegseth and the Pentagon for using their song in a non-monetized video praising our war fighters. First of all, can we stop calling them war fighters? Can we stop calling it Secretary of War? Can we stop doing all that? Because you sound like goddamn warmongers with that shit. You've bombed 3 countries, and Donnie has his hand out between every bombing for the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know, the way you guys talking, it sounds like you got major war plans. I knew that day one, but you guys are starting to sound like it. That's the problem. So again, this is some right-wing hack. He makes the point that it's in all caps, monetized. I don't give a fuck. Don't steal my music. Who cares if it's monetized, non-monetized, whatever? It's their fucking music. Metallica's fucking property. And if you want to use it, son, you best ask their permission or pay the man. Because, you know, that music stuff, that don't just come from nowhere. Men sit in sweaty basements and write that shit. They spend hours of their fucking lives so we can hum the fuck along. And, you know, a bunch of older gentlemen can make a lot of money off it. So when some random cunt comes and uses it for something, you know, the artist may get pissed off about that, and I don't fucking blame them. Because I read all about the music business. I used to want to be in that business before I learned about what goes on. And I'm not even talking about all the pedo molestation, all that. Everyone knows about that. Well, most of us do. We're kind of naive at 18, 17 when we're trying to run over to LA and make that thing happen, though. That's the problem. We think people are generally good and aren't out to harm us or take advantage of us. It's the complete opposite in this world. No matter where you go, doesn't matter. So obviously Metallica got pissed. The right-wing hack is pissed, so I guess he likes Metallica, so this is like a letdown for him. I don't care what artist it is. If you use their music and you're a public figure or whatever in any way, and you know they don't want you to, it's their fucking property, son. It's that simple. I don't care if it's monetized or not. Again, people look at like movies and music and stuff like that as intangible, not property. No one put millions of dollars into it. No one put any work into it. It's just there to consume. And we can steal it, do whatever we got to do. We could even use it to help promote ourselves. Some of us. I've never used anyone's song ever. I'll sing that shit though. Speaking of that, you know, all the voice coach people out there that do the videos where, you know, they watch Pearl Jam Black or something and they give their thoughts on it, which I could fucking care less about. Since you're a goddamn vocal coach, maybe you could sing the song, son. And then the other people that, you know, like Trayvon and those people, they do all the videos like critiquing rock songs and stuff. How about singing it, son? Nah, you would never dare that. You can shit talk it or praise it though. You know, motherfuckers that can't think of any content, so they take someone's song and they play increments of it and they critique it because they have no creativity, no content, no ability, no talent, no soul, no fucking nothing. That's you people doing the song critique videos that can't play a goddamn instrument or lie and say you're a voice coach and you don't even sing the shit. If you're a voice coach, you know what I'm interested in? Hearing you sing it, son. Oh, that's right, you can't. Never mind. Fuck off. Anyway, so Metallica put a complaint. This afternoon, representatives from X reached out to DOD regarding a video posted to our social media page and asked that the video be removed due to a copyright issue with the song Enter Sandman by Metallica. The video has been taken down, corrected, and re-uploaded to our page. Yeah, Metallica don't want you using their fucking music without the permission, and I don't blame them. That's why I don't use people's music, because I know what it's like to sit there for days, hours, weeks, months, years, and write something that no one else is capable of. Maybe 5 people on the planet could even sing it or play it. Let's be honest. And then someone just takes it. The second I got on YouTube and got any traction in this shithole, son, listen to me right now. The second I got traction, which was totally organic, by the way. I didn't buy bots, followers. I didn't do none of the bullshit you learn in the college course on how to promote yourself and present a fake-ass image in college. You know, the social media course that all you cunts take, and then you apply. And I can't watch your channel because it's a joke. And it's all image and bullshit, and none of it's true or real. The second I got traction on social media, I had a motherfucker called Randy the Clown steal every damn video I made and post it on his channel because he doesn't have any content. All he had was Pizzagate and, I don't know, a clown wig. He had nothing else. He had nothing to say. He had no talent, creativity, nothing. So he took every one of my videos and he cut out the prayer in the beginning because, you know, we can't have that in rock and roll world, right, guys? And then he'd play the rest of the video because he had no content of his own. I'm talking the second I got traction, son. That's what this world is like. That's what most creators are like. That's what most people in show business are like. They steal your grandma's, you know, whatever. They'll steal your grandma's idea or music. No morals, scruples, decency. I know what that's like. Oh, and did YouTube put strikes and copyright and all that for me? No. No one gave a fuck. They just tried to shut me down. Yet I got other people reposting my shit every day. So I guess there must be some interest, huh? Since, hacks are stealing it. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that. Oh, Metallica, that's right. This guy, Isaiah Hodgson. the DG is fucking me up. I will keep wanting to say Hodgson, who arrested 2 U.S. citizens, including a 20-year-old Adrian Martinez at Walmart, and Job Garcia at Home Depot, is accused of entering the women's restroom and approaching a female while intoxicated and armed with a handgun and a firearm magazine. And who does he exactly work for? He's a Border Patrol agent, and this is him. And it's all over the internet, son. Don't worry. Let me blow him up a little more. Very fine people that Donnie hires. Very fine people that work for the Gestapo. Some of them, they go in bathrooms drunk and try and rape a woman at gunpoint. You know what I mean? Good thing the woman was able to get away because the guy was so drunk. I read the story. So yeah, he's one of the kidnappers and accused of entering a woman's restroom, approaching a female while intoxicated, and armed with a handgun and a firearm magazine. Uh-oh. Donnie always hires the best people, right? That's one of the best people. Not all the guys behind the mask are decent human beings. In fact, none of them are. That's an example. Jamie Garcia, a farm worker in Ventura County, has died after falling 30 feet when he lost his footing during one of the largest ice raids in history. He suffered a broken neck and skull. He never made it home. ICE, backed by National Guard, stormed 2 farms using tear gas and projectiles, terrifying workers and their families. 200 people were arrested. The worst of the worst, right? They're found in the fields, picking cotton and vegetables. Right, Rubes? That's where you find the worst of the worst, right? Right. They're going to label you that someday. I promise. You know what that means. Jamie was a husband, a father, the sole provider for his family in Mexico, and now he's gone. This year alone, 12 people have died in ICE custody. Many of them down in Florida. 4 or 5 of them. The place that just built the death camp in the swamp. This is what he looks like. This man had to die because of you rubes, the greedy at the top, and the racist Nazis in government right now. That's why he had to die. In other words, for nothing. Because none of it's worth anything. It's all going right in the lake. The whole movement. Everything. And much, much more. So this man died for nothing. Thanks to you people that have your name on this. Great job. Oh, here's what he looked like in the hospital bed. Not that anyone gives a fuck. Guy up on a greenhouse at a cannabis farm. I believe it was a cannabis farm. Doesn't matter what kind of farm it was, honestly. You just got basically an ethnic cleansing thing going on. That's really what it is, honestly. And then it's going to move on to you. I promise. Not if, when. Trump announces 30% tariff on European Union and Mexico. I'm sure this will really help the economy, Rubes. Doing this tariff grift dance. Mr. Bojangles every fucking 2-3 weeks, once a month, once every 2 months, right? It's not a grift at all, right? He's not pocketing that tariff money. He would never, right? And Mr. Besson, the upright individual that he is, he wouldn't let Donnie put his hand in the treasury, right? Right, Rubes? Okay, I told you we'd get here, son. Again, Donnie was in the White House with Mr. Bukele, the third world dictator, with the death camp that people never leave, that your money paid for. Next up is the homegrowns. Ha, 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 ha. This is a lovely Jessica Tarloff commenting on a Donnie Shitbag's post. Let's hear what she says first, because she's not a waste of oxygen. We've now entered the revoking citizenship of people who are mean to me phase of the presidency. It only gets worse. Indeed, Jessica, it only gets worse. We got death camps, machine guns on the street. Now we got talk of taking citizenship away from a U.S. citizen. Outright, open, right in your face. I know, Rubes. He was just trolling, right? He's just joking. He's just messing with the libs, right? You'll keep saying that all the way to the camp, won't you, you fucking idiot? I guarantee you will. That's why Donnie was able to steal your country. Because you're that dumb. That bias, that racist, that evil, all of it, lest you turn away. So here's Donnie's post about Rosie O'Donnell. How's your mortgage looking? How's your rent doing? Your kids' college fund? Are you making enough at your job to pay your bills? Because Donnie's talking about Rosie O'Donnell. Thanks, Rubes. Because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interests of our great country. What? I am giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. Yes, this man thinks he's Caesar, thinks he's God, thinks he can do anything, and he will do anything. He's already done it to a lot of you rubes and other people. So when he says something like this, no, he's not joking. He intends to do it at some point. And I told you this is where it was going. I told you the roundups of the illegals, that's to get to you. That's not about illegals. Donnie's keeping his. Hypocrites. It's not about illegals for you either. It's about getting to you, and this is one of the ways. Oh, I don't like you? I'm God, I'm Caesar. I'm going to take your citizenship away, and I'm going to ship you to CCOT. Because I'm of Satan on top of it, and I want you locked up for the rest of your life, even though you committed no crime. Just because I'm Caesar, just because I'm God. That's what you fucking done, you people with your name on this. And yes, it will come to your door as well. I've been saying that since day one. I need to repeat it more often, I guess. She is a threat to humanity, says the threat to humanity, the Antichrist, the literal threat to humanity. Look at the harm he's done first term, this term so far. My God. And should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland if they want her. God bless America. So Caesar has given you your first indication. Well, actually, your first indication is next up is the homegrowns in the White House. Then he did a press conference the other day that said there's some people that were born here that I'd like to throw out. So that's indicator number 2. This is indicator number 3. Anyone I don't like, journalist, star, famous person, non-famous person. If you talk shit on the Reich or me, I'm going to deport you. I'm going to take away your citizenship as if I have that right. It will happen. Liberals will be locked up. Some of them already have. They've been arrested. Judges, congressmen, senator got thrown to the ground and zip tied by the Reich. Now we're at the point where the Reich is saying, or Caesar is saying, I'm going to take a U.S. citizenship away. I told you it would get here, right? I told you it would. Everything you're seeing is just to get to you. So you get comfortable with it. You get comfortable with men with massive machine guns. I know a lot of you look at it as, hey, they're only grabbing the people I don't like. You know, they can fuck off and die. I don't care. Well, that's sad. You feel that way. That's why you lost your country, and that's why you're in the apocalypse. Because one day that's going to be you getting rounded up by the guy in the mask with the gun. And I guess if we apply your standard, we should all just sit back and say, deport them all, round them up, who cares? The Reich says that's a terrorist or a criminal, or 5150 them so they can take their guns immediately. No judge needed. Do you remember that, Rubes? How Miss Bondi and Donnie talked about taking the guns immediately, not having to worry about the courts. Donnie made a proclamation. Now it doesn't have to go through the courts. They just say you're crazy, 5150, we can go in immediately and take the guns. Do you see the power of labels now, Rubes? All the slogans you've been yelling for 20, 30 years. Maybe you'll get labeled one of those labels. Then your guns go away and you get taken away. That's where it is. It's not where it's going. That's where it is. Donnie and Miss Bonnie, months ago they talked about this. You don't remember, do you, Rubes? You just let that slide right by, right? Oh, if the liberals dared, you'd be rubbing shit on the walls again. But when it's your Messiah, when it's the Reich, no problem. 5150 is the only technicality they need to invoke to take all my weapons? Okay, as long as it hurts the libs. No, it hurts you, son. That's what the law is for. To take American citizens' guns away without having to go through a judge. Already written in stone. Over. I can't believe this. And again, on a Saturday, you can't even relax on a Saturday without the Antichrist making a proclamation that he's going to deport a U.S. citizen and take their citizenship away. But I always knew it was going here. I expected to get much worse. I expected liberals in government to get straight up seized and locked up like Hitler did. I expect him to take citizenship away from dissidents, journalists, stars that talk out about him, public figures, non-public figures. And I'm talking about take your citizenship away so they have the right to ship you to a place like Seacot, where you die. You never leave. That's if you can survive it. That's our country now, thanks to you fucking dickheads. And some of you, do you hear me, son? Some of you are going to end up in that death camp. I'm talking to the people that voted for this. Some of you will end up in that death camp. Because you voted for the Antichrist. You voted for evil again, like you always do, and you thought you'd walk away. Nope. Not this time, son. I'm sorry. I'd get my name off it, like I always say. Will that save you from the gulag? Absolutely fucking not. But it will save you when the man comes around. Much more important. Some of you will end up there. I promise you. You made it happen. You preached the gospel of it. Why shouldn't that standard be applied to you? Or Leon when he gets deported. Right? That's your standard. As long as it ain't you, that's your standard. Really. Don't worry, it's going to be you. Everyone will get a knock on the door from the Reich. Everyone. On earth. Son. So one more time before I move on, Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship is in jeopardy. If that pleases you, you're a moron. And when your citizenship is in jeopardy for critiquing the Reich, maybe you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe they just suspect you. I have a feeling you won't feel the same as when Rosie's citizenship is threatened to be taken away. I bet you'll get it then when it happens to you. We must be careful with the standards we preach, for they may be applied to us one day. I can't believe again on a Saturday the amount of evil that took place. We finally got our I guess, answer if Donnie was really in the Epstein files by what Donnie did today. I told you, Donnie's not good at hiding his guilt, his crimes, his intentions, his emotions. He's a child. Wears it all on his sleeve. Tells you what he's going to do before he does it. Like deporting Rosie and taking her citizenship away. Like, arresting Comey. Locking up Hillary and all these. He's going to do all these things. Maybe not Hillary specifically, but Comey's definitely going. Rosie, she'll probably lose her citizenship, yeah. Who's going to stop this thing? The courts? No, he owns them. The liberals in government? No, they have no power. The people? No, they come out, they peacefully protest, they go home, and the right continues to the next step. Who's going to stop it? Nobody. I wish I had a better answer for you as I smoke this cigarette. Because what the hell? It's the apocalypse, right? There ain't no 30, 40 years left. Not that I'd live that long anyway. I probably got a good 15 left in me with my family's genetics. But I don't think the world has 15. That's the problem. And I really believe that. Like, concretely believe that. Because what I keep seeing every day seems to fall right in line with the story. And I mean exactly in line. And everything I say that's going to happen keeps happening. And again, I'm only basing my predictions off the cliff notes and some feelings. But really the cliff notes. That's how I knew it was going here. That's how I knew what Donnie was or is. That's why I knew on day one of this presidency, there would be concentration camps, there would be executions, there would be roundups, there would be guns on the street. They would deport US citizens. Once I saw CCOT set up, I understood what was going to happen next. And Donnie let us know, the homegrowns. But I knew before that. In other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I knew it was going to go to that horrific place that you see in dystopian nightmare movies. And that you read about in a book called the Bible, in a section called Revelation, Daniel, other places as well. All over the book is prophecy. But Revelation is the modern writing. And when you read it, being alive in the industrial age, that only what started like in the mid 1800s or early 1800s or some shit. And in the span of, I don't know, 170 years, we fly rockets in space. We have AI and robots and drones that can kill you via AI. A point I made a long time ago, that increase in knowledge is also in some stories in the good book. And when you look at history for thousands and thousands of years, humanity basically had the same technology. All of a sudden, in a span of, less than 200 years, we can do things, that weren't even imaginable. And we're really on the verge of doing most of the things you see in sci-fi movies, the dystopian nightmare sci-fi movies. We're so on the verge of it. Does that make logical sense? That for thousands and thousands of years, humans basically had the same technology, and then bam! Less than 200 years, we are, I don't know what to call it, utterly reliant on machines and technology. And we can do things like go to space and create nanobots and shit. Simple cloning. We're starting to get into, genetic manipulation now. No, that doesn't make logical sense. But anyway, let's move on to this. This is Donnie Shitbags. I'm on my way back from Texas and watched in disbelief as thugs were violently throwing rocks and bricks at ICE officers while they were moving down a roadway in their car and or official vehicle. I saw this video as well, and they were chucking some huge rocks and they fucked those cars up. Tremendous damage was done to these brand new vehicles. I know for a fact that these officers are having a hard time with allowing this to happen, that it shows such total disrespect for law and order. No, it shows disrespect for the Reich and kidnappings and shipping to death camps. Donnie's not about law and order. He's a convicted fucking felon, you goddamn hypocrites. So let's put that to bed right now. This is a Reich, and they want you to let the Reich happen. And they're doing the same thing Adolf Hitler did. He would send the brown shirts into different communities to start shit, and then when people fought back, look at the poor brown shirts getting picked on. We gotta crack down even harder. That's what this is, son. Look at the poor men in the masks with machine guns who are fucking kidnapping people and shipping them to death camps. Let's have sympathy for them. Again, Mr. Miller, Donnie, Leon, Thale, all of them, they just want you to sit back and just let it happen, just like Adolf did. And if there's the slightest bit of resistance, let's lock those people up. Let's crack down harder. Let's get more guns and boots on the street in the freest country in the world, right? Right, Rubes? Hey, as long as they're only in California, right? Nope, coming to your town too. And your state. Especially when they really unleash this thing. There's a lot of parties that are gonna feel real betrayed and be outright betrayed. MAGA is one of them. They get betrayed over and over again. I'm more talking about the Jews and Israel. They're going to get betrayed. Vlad may get betrayed. That may happen real soon, actually. Donnie getting tired of Vlad not helping him get that Nobel Peace Prize. There's going to be a lot of humans that they're going to come to a moment where they realize they've been utterly backstabbed and betrayed by this Antichrist. Because he don't give a fuck about nobody. One more time, the same tactic was used in Nazi Germany. Stephen Miller's using the rhetoric every day. They're committing an insurrection. No, that was you, Steve. And that was Donnie with the insurrection, literally trying to overthrow the government. We watched it on television. Hitler did the same thing. Inversion of reality, utterly of Satan. One more time, Hitler would send the brown shirts into communities to start shit. Just like these masked guys with machine guns are sent into communities to start shit, to provoke a reaction. Because people don't like watching masked men with machine guns kidnap people. It bothers them. It would bother you too if it was going on in your town. Don't worry, it will be. And you may be one of the victims. Because that's where it's going, son. I know you were too stupid to see it. I know you thought Obama was going to do it, and Bill Clinton, and Hillary. You were wrong. You're the evil son. You. Sorry to break it to you. And again, it ain't because I don't like you. You just are. You're on the wrong side. And I'm sorry, I don't really have much sympathy for men in massive machine guns kidnapping people. If it was your wife, son, whatever being taken, I wonder what you'd do and what you'd feel and what you'd want to do. Just sit back and let the right happen. Otherwise, harsher crackdowns. Otherwise, maybe they start shooting at people. Oh, and that's going to happen too. Why? Because most human beings would stab their grandmother in the back for an extra sugar cube. So I don't see the military en masse saying, nah, we're not going to do that. And Petey Hegseth, he's sure ready to give that. He laughed about it when they asked him, would you follow an order to shoot protesters in the leg? Pete laughed about it. Because he knows that's where it's going. It was nervous laughter. He knows he's going to give that order one day. Down to his bones, he knows it. Let me continue with this piece of shit. I digress too much. Therefore, I'm directing Homeland Security, Puppy Killer, and Border Czar, the misery that is Tom Homan, to instruct all ICE, Homeland Security, or any other law enforcement officer who is on the receiving end of thrown rocks, bricks, or any other form of assault to stop their car, arrest these slimeballs, using whatever means is necessary to do so. I'm giving total authorization for ICE to protect itself just like they protect the public. No, they don't protect anybody. They're men in mass that go around kidnapping people. They don't make me feel safer. They make me want to not go to a Home Depot, though. You'll never see me in one. I am not getting caught up in some gunplay by some fucking Proud Boy in a goddamn mask. Fuck you all. I'm gonna stay way away from that. I never want to see a car-carrying law enforcement officer attacked again. Authorization immediately granted for arrest and incarceration. That's in all caps by the psychotic antichrist, sociopath, convicted felon, rapist, fraud, defamer, traitor to his nation, Donnie Krasnoff since 1987. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Fuck you. I can't wait till we're all by the lake and motherfuckers say, jump in, Donnie. Otherwise, Jesus is gonna throw you in. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donnie. Get your fat ass in the fire. Because this evil, man, it's sad in dying America that we don't look at it as a problem or a bad thing that men in mass with machine guns are kidnapping people all across this nation, grabbing U.S. citizens as well, detaining them for days in some instances, because they don't want to see an ID. That's not what it's about, son. It's about terror. So now they have the authorization to do whatever they want according to Caesar, the masked men with machine guns. Because people threw some rocks. It's the whole point of this. That's why they're sending them into courthouses, all kinds of places. They want a reaction. They want to arrest a liberal judge or whatever, and they already have. Her case isn't over. The one that got arrested. I told you all these things would happen. Day one. That it would be the Hitler playbook, arresting, liberals in government, not in government. Funny how the guard got called out for California first, isn't it? That was intentional, son. But you rubes know this. And as long as it stays there, you're fine with it. Unfortunately, it won't stay there. It's coming to your state too, rubes. You think you're exempt from the subjugation? You think you're exempt from the mark that you made happen? Nope. None of you. No one on earth, actually. So what's not disgusting in America is men in mass with machine guns kidnapping people and sending them to camps they never leave. But what is disgusting is men throwing rocks at those men. Why isn't kidnapping people with a mask and machine gun disgusting? Why is only the rock throwing disgusting? I'm wondering right now how many dumb humans in this country are preaching this and cheering this on, not aware that it's coming to their door too. So many. So many. So many of you are in such, you're in for such a surprise. You've seen all this happen. You've seen the death camps, the machine guns on the street. Your own troops, by the way, son. Guns turned on you. You see this maniac in action. And some of you out there still say, oh, it's not that bad. It's not going to that place. You're already in that place, son. That's the amazing part. And that's the point. To get it all in place before you grab your pitchfork. And again, there's a supernatural overtone to it, so I know you're never going to grab your pitchfork. It'll be too late by that time. You'll be under full subjugation first. Especially since Donnie just gave the Gestapo, carte blanche now. Again, in 2025, you're supposed to have sympathy for men in mass with machine guns kidnapping people. That's incredible. Hitler would be fucking proud of that one, boy. That there's actual U.S. citizens in this country preaching that gospel, that's a good thing. Nothing wrong with it. Oof. America's doomed. This is the lawyer. There is a very good reason that people are calling for legislation requiring that ICE officers have a standardized uniform and badges. Yeah, like every other law enforcement agency, they're brave enough to leave their house without a mask. You cunts. You pussies. You hands of Satan. Why aren't you? We all know the answer to that question. And this is from the Delaware Online. 2 men wearing ice vests rob motorist at gunpoint in Milton. What to know, plus safety tips. Well, you can thank Donnie Shitbags for that. He's the one that's normalized it. And you idiot fucking rubes are preaching that gospel as well. Maybe you'll be the next fuckface that gets accosted by 2 men pretending to be ICE who just want to rob you. Wouldn't that be ironic, rubes? Would you still be in favor of the mask then? I bet you wouldn't. It's not like you believe in anything anyway, but that's beside the point. Always until it happens to you. That's your existence. Every single person who has their name on this. Always until it happens to you. And then you'll be crying. You'll be wanting help. You'll be wanting the very people you helped get subjugated to come help you. Guess what? Go back, Nazi Germany, read the poem. You know what poem I'm talking about. That's your existence. And you're probably going to be the one at the end of the poem. When they finally came for me, there was no one to speak up. So 2 men wearing ice vests robbed a motorist at gunpoint. That's what happens when, when you vote for the Antichrist. When you vote for a guy who wants to be Kim Jong-un, that's what he aspires to be. Federal judge orders DHS to limit roving patrols in LA. The judge finds that evidence shows that DHS officers are racially profiling people to demand their papers. What did I just say to you yesterday in yesterday's broadcast? I said Tom Homan was on the news preaching that we're at the papers please phase. He didn't use that phrase. I'm using it. And that racial profiling is cool. And then you got the lawyer saying it right here the next day. And a judge saying the same thing that I said. You're racial profiling and you're papers pleasing us, just like Nazi fucking Germany. But, you fools wouldn't know about that. You don't read history books. You believe Hitler was a socialist and shit. That's how stupid you are. Which all sides agree is illegal and orders DHS to stop those unlawful practices. I don't know really what this ruling is worth. Donnie's not going to stop. Kind of a half-ass, I don't know. It's a nice attempt, though. Okay, again, the Reich, Leon, all of you, it was all about cutting spending, and it was all about getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. So let's see how well that went. According to the latest monthly Treasury statement from the Treasury Department, federal government spending as measured by outlays is $142 billion higher in the first half of calendar year 2025 than the first half of calendar year 2024. I know, right, Roops? You're about to say, those liberals, they spend too much money. We got to slow it down, blah, blah, blah. No, it's you. It was always you. Your people always run the credit card up to infinity. Donnie wanted actually the limit to be infinity right before he took office. That's what he thinks of you. After him and Leon preached all this, cost cutting. Unfortunately, every bit of cost cut went right in people's pockets named Altman, Thale, Leon, Donnie, etc. That's where that money went. That's why, the big hurry to fire everybody. We got to pocket that shit. And just spending in general, Donnie spent $142 billion more in the first 6 months than Biden. I don't know, Rubes, and conservatives that dare bring up fiscal conservatism. It kind of sounds like you voted for a lot of spending. And it sounds like the Democrats are better at controlling spending than Caesar. I imagine all the money Miss Gnome is, using of yours, jet setting around the world in the different cosplay endeavors she's involved in. And the new plane she's going to get for $50 million of your money. And the Gestapo that's running around with masks and machine guns and paying bounty hunters and Proud Boys or whoever $1,000 a body, $1,500 a body. I imagine that's burning through your money like a forest fire. That's probably why the $142 billion higher, despite Rubes and Class, they fired thousands of people, cut agencies, departments, aid programs. They took a chainsaw to the government, and they laughed about it. And they told us all it was supposed to save us money. As Altman got a contract or 3, as Leon got a contract or 3, as Thale got a contract or 3. Doge got salaries of $8 million a week for all of them, the whole department. And when we come to the end of it all, we've spent $142 billion more than Biden spent, and he didn't fire everybody. What mental gymnastics do you do to still say you're saving money, you're cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, and that Donnie and Leon and Thale and Altman didn't pocket it all? I wonder how you integrate that into the whole MAGA thing. 142 billion more. That's fiscal conservatism. And again, Biden didn't fire everybody, so how was Biden able to spend less without firing 200,000 people? And how was Donnie and Leon and all those idiots able to spend much, much more? Again, I guess I got to attribute it to the roundups. Because, that's high priority. Because I know you're going to let all your kids go out and do the construction labor in the 107-degree heat. And you're going to get out in the field and pick that cotton, right? Because those are all really coveted jobs in America. I'm sure so many of us are going to go right out into them fields for 60 cents a bushel. In the motherfucking heat. In full dress. For 8 hours. No, none of us are. We'll starve before we do it. It'll never work. That's where it's going, though. When you get rid of all the people that do the work. Really weird that Trump claims to oppose violence against cops because he pardoned hundreds of cop assailants on the first day of the job. Yeah, and he incited that insurrection. He made it happen. He sat back and ate hot wings as cops got the shit beat out of him. One of them died the next day. One of his followers got shot. Donnie made all that happen literally. And then he pardoned all the people that beat the fuck out of the cops. But he's appalled when the Reich or the Gestapo gets rocks thrown at him. Isn't that kind of interesting? He's so appalled when law enforcement gets assaulted out here while the Reich's doing its business. But when Donnie's trying to stage a coup and become a dictator, he's got no problem with cops being beaten, killed, whatever. Isn't that interesting? It's almost as if Donnie's just the Antichrist and wants to subjugate us, and he doesn't have any beliefs. This is Nancy Mace asking a question. Who sleeps better knowing President Donald J. Trump is in charge? And a bunch of people answered, the pedophiles on the Epstein list, of course. They sleep real peaceful. Because they know Donnie's name's all over that shit, and he's never going to blab it. Jeffrey Epstein's airplane was called the Lolita Express. Look who's on those flight logs. Yeah, that's 5 or 6 times that Donnie's in the flight logs. I looked at his name is circled there. I've looked at those flight logs. I've read them to you out loud years ago on camera. Yeah, how do you... You know this, you knew this years ago. You still voted for it. And you're still in the Pizzagate chat room. You people were looking for sex traffickers. You people were looking for pedophiles. You voted for them. Unbelievable. After decades of preaching that Pizzagate gospel, that liberals are pedos gospel that Vlad taught you. Look at you now. Isn't it amazing? Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a congresswoman. She toured Alligator Auschwitz. These detainees are living in cages. The pictures you have seen don't do it justice. They are essentially packed into cages. 34 detainees per cage. They get their drinking water and they brush their teeth where they poop in the same unit. 34 people to a cell or a cage. 3 little toilets with a sink on top of them. I mean, 34 to a cage is bad enough, isn't it? Let alone anything that comes after that. And again, that's in the swamp and the heat with the mosquitoes. There's more to that story. I don't know if I put any more in the iPad here. Maybe I'll get to it tomorrow. Here's Kash Patel, after a career in podcasting and years of ginning you rubes up that, we need to get them Epstein files out there, and there's some crazy names, and then he becomes head of the FBI, and then the Epstein files end up in his possession, kind of. He talked about that. Here's what he has to say today. The conspiracy theories just aren't true, never have been. It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. So Kosh is down with the Reich, and he's down with not letting you see the Epstein files because he knows Donnie's in there. Again, this guy made a career with podcasting, doing the right-wing grift/terror machine. Talking about Pizzagate, Epstein, all of it. Now he gets in the Reich. Oh, files? What are you talking about? This is him back in the day on Benny Johnson. Why is the FBI not releasing the Epstein list? That's the question. Patel says because of who's on that list. And here's another little. Kash Patel, FBI has Jeffrey Epstein, Little Black Book. Trump should release it on day one. And the rest of the footage of the DC pipe bomber video. That's from 2023 in December, it looks like. So that's what he used to be talking about. This is what he's talking about currently. This is how I know you people believe in nothing. It's just a team sport. It's just about power, money, whatever, or your team winning and making you feel good. You believe in jack shit. Again, the conspiracy theories just aren't true, never have been. It's an honor to serve the president, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm going to go along with the cover-up. No, I was never going to leave. No, I have no morals, decency, soul. I'm here to subjugate for the beast. Mr. Cross-eyed Patel. Bongino, I'm not sure about yet. Bongino seems a little more serious about this stuff. So we'll see what happens with him. One of the plaintiffs is a U.S. citizen who DHS agents threw in the back of a car and took to another place to have his identity checked, even though he had his ID on him. This has happened to a lot of people. They don't want to hear, I'm a citizen, I have my ID. They don't get paid like that. They don't terrorize the community like that. So they take you, put you in a facility. That facility charges whatever, whether you're there an hour or 24 hours or a week or whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you step foot inside, then they charge in the government. So you're going to get a lot of people where they're citizens, they have an ID, and the Gestapo just says, okay, so what? We didn't ask you to see it. How many U.S. citizens have been grabbed already? We're already there. We're already got, Caesar in front of the whole world saying, I'm going to revoke this U.S.-born person's citizenship named Rosie O'Donnell. Because Caesar doesn't like her. That's it. Rosie committed no crime. That's your existence again, Rubes. That's also how I know you believe in nothing. You just want to lock people up that you don't like. It has nothing to do with a crime or not a crime. It doesn't matter to you. It should, though, because if that standard gets applied to you, you're fucked. In court, DHS admitted he was detained and questioned because of where he worked, not for any other reason. Setting aside the contempt up for the judiciary, Secretary Noem is wrong that the judge is preventing them from conducting any enforcement at all. What the judge said is that DHS has to follow the Constitution like every government agency. This is what she said about the judge. He's an idiot. He's frankly an idiot, said Noem. About female federal judge issued order yesterday halting immigration agents from stopping folks without reasonable suspicion and detaining them without access to an attorney. Due process, suspicion of a crime, not just that they're Latin. You need more than that. At least it used to be that way. Now it's 1,500 or 1,000 a body, so you got Proud Boys, bounty hunters, people that never been in law enforcement, and then you've got the actual Gestapo just looking for anything Latin. Get that money. That's where America is now. Racially profiling, being preached by Tom Homan. I just talked about that yesterday. Outright preaching it. Tom even said, even if you're a citizen, if we mistake you for an illegal, we have the right to detain you for a while. Maybe slap some cuffs on you. I knew it would go there. That's why I say, all you people out there laughing about this, it's a big game, it's a big joke. When your dumb ass gets caught up in one of these raids and they slap some zip ties around your wrists, you'll understand why these roundups based on ethnicity are a problem. Especially by masked men with machine guns that don't have to worry about accountability when they beat your fucking ass. It only took Trump 7 months, but he has destroyed the Las Vegas economy. International tourism is dead because everyone in the world now hates America. Because of Trump's tariffs and tax increases, middle-class Americans can no longer afford a Vegas vacation anymore. Everything here is rapidly getting worse with layoffs. The city is about to crater hard over the next year. So yeah, whenever you take a hit on tourism, when people don't have as much extra money, Vegas is going to have layoffs. It's happened before. It's really going to happen now. Because we got the Antichrist telling all of our allies to fuck off. We've got the Antichrist, strip searching Canadians, Germans, all kind of different people that come here for no reason. Maybe they got an Obama sticker on their suitcase. Again, like I said before, unless you want an anal cavity search and the contents of your phone downloaded and laughed at by fat agents, don't come here. You're crazy if you do. Because you could be the next one. Pulled in a room for 8 hours until you give them the code to your phone. It's already happened. Many times. So yeah, Vegas is going to go down over this. Way less tourism. You got foreigners afraid to come here. What do you think's going to happen? Do Donnie and Leon and Thale and them care? Absolutely not. They grifting. They're trying to build a Reich. They could care less about Vegas. So yeah, expect layoffs to get real bad over there. Nevada unemployment hits 5.5% of labor force out of work. That's not good. Whole communities are based on those casinos in Vegas. What I mean is whole communities that were built on desert were built on that work in casinos being available. Otherwise, those towns wouldn't even be there. They might not be there much longer. That's called the Donnie Shitbags effect. This is Pam Bondi years ago. She's talking about the Epstein documents. It should have come out a long time ago. I want to know why AG Garland and the DOJ are so quiet about this. If people in that report are fighting to keep their names private, they have no legal basis to do so. What's Miss Bondi saying? Well, if I were Attorney General, I'd release them. Nope. Sorry, dumbasses. She was just lying. Why? Because your people are on the list. And Miss Bondi's people are on the list. That's why. The talking points have been distributed today. The talking point for the bots, Russian trolls, Indian trolls, Chinese trolls, RNC trolls, etc. is, why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? Okay, cunts, if we want to go with that. That disingenuous bullshit. Biden has nothing to fucking do with this, by the way. But, you know, his name always has to be brought up. When you rubes catch the Antichrist in something abominable, time to bring up Biden or Obama or somebody, right, rubes? That brings you right back into the Reich. Like good sheep. Epstein was arrested in 2019 in July. He died August 10th. Just over a month later. He was visited by Bill Barr. Donnie Shitbags was in power at the time. Why didn't they release the files then, rubes? But we want to talk about Biden releasing the file. He wasn't arrested when Biden was president. He was arrested when Donnie was president. In 2019, the election wasn't until 2020 in November. Plenty of time to release those files, rubes. And remember, Donnie hired Mr. Acosta, who helped Mr. Epstein get his sweetheart deal in Florida. Well, Miss Bondi helped out a lot too. She was AG of Florida. When it became too known that Mr. Acosta was, you know, Epstein's right-hand lawyer and helped him, or gave him the sweetheart deal, excuse me, Acosta had to go. Remember that? Because that Epstein stuff was getting a little too close to Donnie. Via Mr. Acosta, giving him that job. Funny, he gave the Attorney General of Florida that job in the next incarnation of the Reich. Who happened to be Attorney General while Epstein was doing some pretty crazy things. Didn't do jack shit about it. His jail sentence, he was allowed to leave and go home. You remember that? And again, down here where all that took place, this MAGA country, honey, they're all, you know, Republicans in government. Bondi, Acosta, DeSantis. Not liberals, son. Liberals don't run this state. No way. So Miss Bondi was involved. Mr. Acosta was involved. They each got a job in both administrations. Mr. Acosta had to be let go because the Epstein stuff was getting too close. There's no way he's letting Miss Bondi go. She's way too eager to help the Reich along. She's here to stay. So's Donnie, unfortunately. Every time, I'm sorry to dash your hopes. If you think this Epstein stuff's going to be the end of him, absolutely not. It's fun to watch, though. It's amusing to watch Rube still give the Reich the benefit of the doubt. Even though for years you've been preaching, once our people get in charge, they're going to show us all those lists with all those liberal names. That Epstein black book. That has 14 entries for the Trumps. You saw that. You voted for it anyway. I guess you never cared about the children's, huh? You cared about the Antichrist winning. So yes, how did I get back to this? Oh, I went back a little bit here. I gotta get back to the current thing. Oh, the ID. Yeah, so you as an American citizen, again, I talked about this over a year ago with Mr. Cortez. Some American citizens will get grabbed by the Gestapo. It's already happened many, many, many fucking times. And sometimes they don't even let you show an ID, and they take you to a facility, and you're there for days before you get the chance to show your ID. How would that affect your marriage, your job, your life in general, if that happened to you, you fucking idiot with your name on this? Because it's very possible it could. It happened to this fucking guy. Again, it ain't about IDs or citizenship. It's about money for private prisons that charge the government and Gestapo that make $1,000, $1,500 a body. For Donnie, at Donnie's level, it's about, subjugation, racism, evil, cruelty. What he's always been about. When hasn't he been about that? It's nothing new. It's just on steroids now. Oh, that's right. Miss Noam called the female judge a he and an idiot. I forgot about that. The puppy killer. Cosplay. Charging you $50 million for a plane. The Vegas economy. Where was I? Oh, it should have come out a long time ago. Let me go back to that one more time. Again, Epstein was arrested under Donnie Shitbag's regime. In 2019, Donnie was president till January of 2021. Why didn't he release the files then? Now we got a second chance. We got the rubes saying this time is it. We're going to get it this time. Nope. Sorry. You were wrong. You're on the wrong side of it. You're on the pedophile side of it. I suggest you get off it, son. As soon as bloody possible. For your own good. I don't get jack shit out of it. This, if you were wondering all these years, I've known for a long time. But if you were wondering all these years, is Donnie neck deep in the Epstein stuff? I present this. Let's take a look, shall we? What's going on with my boys, in quotes? I don't know what that... And in some cases, gals, that's in quotes. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people, in quotes, again, Donnie doesn't understand what quotes are used for, are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies. Jeffrey Epstein. Spoken like a true mob boss that had him whacked. I could picture the mob boss saying to himself, I had this guy fucking killed. He never dies. He keeps coming back to life. I could so picture that thought process in a third grade educated mobster. Like Donnie. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama? Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with the Russia hoax. 51 intelligence agents. And Russia thinks not a hoax. Donnie went to Russia in 1987. Since that moment, he's been spouting Russian talking points and saying, let's end NATO. And much, much more for Russia. Because Donnie needed money. And he didn't give a fuck about you or this country. He took that money and sold you out every goddamn day since, son. And you voted for it 3 times to be sold out. Amazing. Well, now it's actually really going to happen in a physical way, where this empire falls because of you. Now, to go to the Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan thing, a lot of you out there made the prediction that somehow he will blame Biden for his Epstein bullshit. There you have it. Obama, Biden, Hillary, Comey, Brennan, somehow they're to blame for this, Rubes. Because Donnie knows all he has to do is invoke those names, and the Rube starts salivating. We went from you idiots and all these right-wing podcasters and right-wing politicians like Donnie Shitbags preaching against the Epstein and sex trafficking Pizzagate stuff, saying we're going to reveal it all and we're going to reveal all those evil liberal names. Okay, so under Donnie's first Reich, Epstein gets arrested and he dies a little bit over a month later, right after a visit by Bill Barr. They tell us at the time the cameras are broke, the guards were doing something else, they didn't see what happened. Sorry. He just killed himself. That seemed kind of really shady and fucked up. Where did it go from there? I'm trying to remember the timeline. Then we get again throughout the whole first administration, we don't get any release of Epstein files. Like everybody promised. Like the Rubes promised us. Then comes the second Reich, or the second incarnation of the Reich, with Donnie, after Biden's term. They literally run on the promise we're going to reveal the Epstein files when we get back in charge. They get back in charge. You have Mr. Patel saying he has the Epstein files and he's looked at them. You have Miss Bondi saying they're on my desk. We have 1,000 FBI agents parsing through it, getting it all ready for you. Before that, we had a bullshit release of publicly available Epstein information to 4 or 5 podcasters that are worthless right-wing hacks, probably financed by Russia. Some of that already publicly available information was redacted, even though you already saw it years earlier. So they release phase 1 of the files to a bunch of right-wing grift/terror members. And it's a nothing burger. Everyone kind of gets pissed about it. Then they finally get to the point. They said there's going to be a phase 2 in the future. And again, remember, Miss Bondi and Patel said all this shit's on their desk. That they've seen it. That it's in their possession. It exists. Then we get to the point recently where rather than release any more, not that they released any at all, they say, oh, well, it just doesn't exist, son. Well, wait a minute. You guys ran on promising to expose it. You said it was on your desk. Mr. Patel said he had it in his possession. Now it doesn't exist. And we ain't releasing anything else on Epstein, ever. That's the Reich saying that, son, not me. That's your people. Now we're at the point where the files exist according to Caesar, and they were written by Hillary, Obama, Biden, etc. So you people that made the prediction that he was going to somehow blame his own problems with the Epstein files on Biden, you nailed that one. But of course you had to throw in Comey and Hillary and all the other names you people despise, to deflect away from the fact he's neck deep in the Epstein stuff. And this thesis out of nowhere proves it. And I understand now that the reason certain entities arrested Epstein or got Epstein in that position is they needed to get rid of him. He was the one thing that Donnie was afraid of. Then and now. This is the evidence of the fear, of the concern. Okay, now that he's blamed it on Obama and he's contradicted Patel and Bondi, who said the shit just doesn't exist, after they lied earlier and said it was on their desk and they were parsing through it to get it ready for the rubes. Now all of a sudden again, Hillary wrote it, Obama wrote it. The laptop from hell and more. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me and now my so-called friends. Oh, the Republican Party was the one that contracted to get that dossier made at first. I don't know if you know that. Because the Republican Party didn't know if they were going with Donnie shitbags yet. So they started to compile that info set on Donnie. And most of the Steele dossier is spot on, by the way. Then the Democrats picked up the ball. After the Republicans said, yeah, we'll sell our soul and let Donnie shitbags be the leader of our party. Then the Democrats picked up the ball with the Steele dossier. So if you want to put Democrats in jail for the Steele dossier, you better put some Republicans in jail first, because they're the ones that initiated getting the Steele dossier made. Go back and take a look. It's true. Where are we at here? And now my so-called friends, that's in quotes, are playing right into their hands. Okay, so he's saying people in government, Bongino, Patel, etc., you're letting them divide us. They wrote the Epstein files that don't exist. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? Well, why didn't you, Donnie? He was arrested under your Reich, the first one, remember? He was dead by the time the Democrats took over. If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why wouldn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King files. Yeah, that's a really convincing argument, Donnie, that you weren't neck deep in the Epstein stuff. See, the thing about that, Donnie, you goddamn sociopath, this writing a thesis like this out of nowhere regarding Epstein, that gives the game away. As far as I'm concerned, this is abject verification of every allegation against him regarding Epstein. I already knew he was neck deep in it the second I saw the video of him together with Epstein at Mar-a-Lago. And again, that came out in the first term. You people saw it, you voted for the pedophile anyway. As you called other pedophiles left and right online. Called others pedophiles, excuse me. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton dossier. This is so long. If there was anything in there, they would have, put it out there. A matter of how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals. Donnie's a criminal. He's a convicted felon. Fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons. They still have nuclear weapons. It's never enough for some people. It's never enough for this motherfucker grifting every 3 seconds, subjugating our population, forming a Reich, and we're supposed to appreciate it. Oh my God. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. Yeah, destruction of the empire. I've never seen such thorough and quick destruction of an empire before, my God. It's almost as if it's intentional. And we have much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Really? Because Donnie's writing a thesis about we need to stick together. Don't listen to them liberals. They're imploding. Don't leave me. Because if Bongino or Patel leave, that makes Donnie look horrible, and he knows it. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. No, she's not doing anything. She just said the shit don't exist after saying it was on her desk for months as she stalled it. Again, not now Donnie's saying they do exist. He's also saying Obama and Hillary wrote it, yet Obama and Hillary decided not to use it against Donnie, even though they wrote it. The reason Donnie's saying that, because in case the files do come out, and you Rubes see that his name is just everywhere, he can go back to what he said earlier. Oh, Obama wrote that. That's fake news. And you Rubes will eat it up. I have faith that you would eat it up. I know you would. That's why he's doing this now. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she's looking into as AG and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. No, Donnie, thank you for telling the entire world outright that you were all up in the Epstein shit. This last sentence kind of gives it away, too. Let's not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that no one cares about. Apparently, the majority of the world cares about him. That's why Donnie flipping the fuck out right now. He's scared shitless. And this thesis proves it. My God. Again, most posts with this post trying to show this post to an audience, they had to break it into 3 parts. That's how thesis length it is. Again, take a look at it. This was the only one screenshot I could find of it. It's so fucking long. So obviously, class, let me interpret it for you, because I know a lot of you aren't that smart. Donnie just basically admitted he's in there big time, and he's scared shitless that this shit's going to come out. So he's trying to head it off at the pass by mentioning Hillary and Obama wrote it, because you Rubes will go and write that on Facebook. He knows you'll walk away believing it. And if you don't, you'll just, again, parrot the lie. Because you don't care if it's true. You voted for a convicted felon. You're in favor of death camps and men with masks and machine guns rounding people up. Again, I knew a long time ago Donnie was neck deep in this. The second I saw the footage of him and Epstein party in Mar-a-Lago, I knew what it was. But this, anyone who had any doubts, those doubts should be gone now. Another realization you should be coming to is you've been on the wrong side of it your entire life. And your name's on this, on the pedophile in office, on the, client of the sex trafficker. And you need to take your name off it. That's another realization you should be coming to at this moment. When Donnie basically telegraphs the entire world, yeah, I'm scared shitless that everyone's going to find out that I'm all involved in the Epstein thing. The 14 contact numbers in Epstein's book, that should have told you. And again, I read those on camera years ago. The footage at Mar-a-Lago, that should have told you that Donnie and Epstein were down. The 87 photos of Epstein and Donnie together, that should have told you that they're down. The flight log should have told you, but you swept all that right under the rug. Because you're on the Jesus team. You're part of right-wing politics in America. The good guys. Oh no. You're seeing what kind of good guys you put your name on. I can imagine what you people would be saying if Bill Clinton put a thesis-length thing about Epstein up after telling you, yeah, we're not going to let you see the Epstein files. Sorry. I know we ran on it. We campaigned on it. We promised it to you. But your rubes, your marks, we never really cared about you. You'd be flipping the fuck out right now. But when Donnie does it, yeah, Obama wrote that shit. As if Obama was some kind of bad guy. Did he try and overthrow the government when his 8 years were up? No, your Messiah did. Did Obama steal 3,000 classified documents and then tell the government to fuck off when they came for him? Or called about them? No, your Messiah did that. Then he stole them back again once he became president. I'm not joking. The Antichrist stole the documents twice. That's the level of crooked we talking about. Senator John Ossoff, who's kind of a reserved guy from Georgia, Trump promised to release the Epstein files. Did anyone really think the sexual predator president who used to party with Jeffrey Epstein was going to release the Epstein files? Really? Did you really think that? Even after you got phase one of all publicly available info that everybody already knew, and even some of that was redacted, did you really think? No, never. Just like you'll never see his medical records or his grades or anything real about him because he's an utter fraud. I mean, God, the tax returns took like 20 fucking years. Why's Donnie got so much to hide? You ever ask yourself that question? Oh, that's right. You don't care. Never mind. He said that in front of a crowd that took balls. Okay, you need a babysitter. You have to pick one of these three people. Who do you pick? Write your answer in the chat there. You got Donnie, shitbags the Antichrist. You got Jeff Epstein. Let's pretend he's still alive. And you got Darth Vader. Who do you pick to watch your kids? It's an easy choice for me. That'd be Darth Vader. He's the least scuzzy out of the three. I mean, one's a fucking Antichrist and the other one's the most prolific sex trafficker ever. So yeah, I think I'm going with Vader. How about you? This is Ron Filipkowski with a good point. There's only one way to read Trump's post today about Epstein. Basically a confession. Yeah. He's guilty. He knows he's guilty. His cult isn't culting on this. And he's a cornered rat with no way out other than to plead with people not to care about child sex trafficking. Right. What is the basic message of his thesis that I just read you? Stop talking about Epstein. Please, I'm begging you. It's getting to me. That's it. because I was, Epstein's best friend. But Vlad and the right gave you the talking point. I know, Rubes, that Donnie ended the friendship once he realized what was going on. Even though they were friends for years, and he was on the plane, and he's in the contact book, and they partied together at Mar-a-Lago with a bunch of girls dancing by themselves, cheerleaders, something like that. Yeah, Rubes, that's not true. Yes, their friendship ended at a certain point, but it had nothing to do with Donnie all of a sudden discovering that he was a sex trafficker. He knew that the whole time. That's why he loved him. So yeah, that's just a talking point that was given to you. Has no basis in reality, unfortunately. And the thesis that Donnie wrote today kind of proves that, doesn't it? I think it does. And I'm going to end with this. This is what you saw. You saw this back during his first term. Footage of this thing and Epstein together at Mar-a-Lago, gawking at a bunch of girls, pointing, laughing, thinking about, I guess, who they're going to victimize later on and how they're going to do that. You watch this piece of tape and you dare preach the gospel of, oh, Donnie broke the friendship off once he knew. No. Look, you're not that naive. You're just that brainwashed. Maybe you voted Republican all your life and your mother and father didn't believe. That's just what you do. That's brainwashed. That's not thinking. That's not taking the right to vote seriously. There comes a point where you have to measure the man, don't you? It's too late now. It's all over, our country, this world, everything. But logically, normally, I mean, isn't there, like when Adolf Hitler comes around, or Donnie Shitbags, which is the modern incarnation of Adolf Hitler? Or when, I don't know, when you see him partying with one of the most prolific sex traffickers ever at his own golf club. You're not that naive. You're evil, though. That's why you voted for evil. I hope you take your name off of it. And therefore you won't be evil anymore. And walk the complete opposite direction. Let's look at this one more time. The thing that all of you people that have your name on this just swept right under the rug after preaching Pizzagate. And the liberals are all pedos for decades because Vlad told you to. Let's take a look. You know what you were doing. You know what this thing is. And you liked it. And you like it still. Again, I suggest you stop liking it. It's pretty much known worldwide now that Donnie's all up in this. Donnie couldn't contain himself. I've been telling you over and over, Donnie can't hide his emotions, his intentions. He tells you what he's going to do. He tells you what he's done by his projection. My God. These are the types of things I watched since 2015. And so many times I ask myself, I don't understand. This isn't logical. People aren't this dumb. There's something else going on here. I know now it's supernatural. And a lot of these people, they're just lost forever. You could show them every fact. You could show them the Epstein files themselves that says Donnie's all over it. With pictures and the whole thing. They would still be down with this evil. Nothing will sway them. When the man comes around, I guess he's gonna, throw them out like garbage. Because again, what good is an entity that's down with this? What good are you to anyone? Because you don't live in reality. And you're preaching the gospel of the Antichrist, Satan, the Reich, that wants to take everything from you and subjugate you. And they're doing it. You're watching it play out. Now you're watching the Reich hide the Epstein files. They gave you jack shit. They've given you nothing after campaigning on it. Then you get a thesis by Donnie. The files exist. They're on someone's desk. The files don't exist. Now the files do exist, but Obama and Biden wrote them. Okay, when you read between the lines of all that, we all know where we're at. And where we're at is right here. That's the truth. No, Donnie didn't break the friendship off once he walked in on, Epstein and a bunch of women. No, they're there with a bunch of women right now in this picture. So I'm sorry. I never bought the talking point that Vlad gave you, that Donnie broke the friendship off once he found out. No, Donnie was all up in it. He broke the friendship off. I believe Epstein went after one of the richer people's daughters. And it got a little too close to home. Also, there was a real estate deal they were both involved in. And Donnie didn't like what Jeff was doing. Those are the real reasons, son. It had nothing to do with Donnie being a saint and all of a sudden, being friends with Jeff Epstein, hanging out with him, being on his plane, being at his homes. And he didn't see nothing. He didn't hear about nothing. Look, we're not that stupid. You rubes may be, or you choose to parrot the lie so your team gets the victory. So Satan gets the victory. But the rest of us out, we all know what this is. We've known for a long time. You're just catching up now. But your name's on Epstein. Your name's on Donnie. Your name's on hiding the files. Your name's on what Donnie and Epstein got away with. Take your name off it. And when the mark comes, and it will, you must say no. You cannot take it. It will be the end of you. And yes, it's coming. I'm sorry. Anyway, people, I'm very tired and I must go. I wasn't even really going to do this. I was so tired. I was delirious. So anyway, if you'd like to help out, I'm going to put the PayPal at the top of the comment section. Again, I put a lot of work and time into this. And things are suffering. And then there's the Donnie shitbags effect with everyone's work. All Las Vegas is going to shut the fuck down probably now. So if you'd like to help out, I'd really appreciate it. And to the people that have, thank you so much. You don't even understand how much you've helped. Have a wonderful evening. Until the next episode.